I'm from Southeast DC. You know, it's like, DC is real small, but it's broke up into 4 parts. It's Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, Southwest. I'm from Southeast.
Now, is it a certain part within that you claim, or?
Yeah, you got 10 Place, Willard Road. That's that whole area, 10 Place, Willard Road, Mississippi Avenue. They call it like Congress Heights area. I grew up in that part.
Now, growing up for you in DC, what was that like? Can you paint that picture for us?
I think growing up in DC is wild. It's probably about the wildest thing I ever did. It was cool though. I think it's so many layers to it. Like I wouldn't know where to stop, but it's cool though. It's a lot of culture in DC. It's a lot of, from the food to the way we dress to the way we talk, everything. It's just it's real culture driven. So I love being from the city though.
Was it a rough upbringing for you?
Growing up in DC is rough, no matter how you look at it. Especially like as a child, cause you gotta go to school, you gotta catch the bus, interacting with other kids, just seeing, leaving out early in the mornings or getting home from school late in the day. You see so much, like that public transportation. It's all type of wild people, and it get a little crazy growing up there. So my personal upbringing though, I say it's a little bit of both. I grew up in a rough neighborhood, but my life, I did what I did. It was more so cool. I could manage stuff though.
And I want to talk a little about, I want to explore some of those things you just mentioned in depth in a little bit here, especially like school and things of that nature. But financially, how did you grow up?
Financially, it was just me and my mother for a long time till my sister came. But, I think it was regular low class living. But, one thing about me, my mother always made a promise. And she like, we always gonna elevate every time, no matter what, even if it's slow, even if it's whatever, we gonna elevate. So just give me time. So for her, it's like every couple years or every whatever, she upgrading something, you know what I'm saying, little at a time. So I don't know, financially, I had a PlayStation, my father used to give me all the J's till he went to jail, but other than that, yeah, I think it was cool though. Money wasn't really no problem growing up, cause you ain't care about it. You a kid, you ain't really worried about what you can or can't get till you get to a certain age and you realize like, oh, I got more or less than the average kid. Then you could judge it. But growing up, it was just fun going outside, playing throwback tackle, playing 33, all type of shit.
What age do you think you're able to notice things of that nature?
You probably notice it at a young age, but...
Or what grade, maybe?
If you behind on that, probably as you get to middle school, elementary, everything is what it is. You probably start getting nowhere, but by the time you're in middle school, like, it hit you, or, 5th grade, you know what's up.
So hindsight 2020, would you say you grew up in poverty at first? Or would you say...
Yeah, we was below the poverty line, I'm sure.
Because you got like poverty, you got lower middle class, you got middle class, upper middle class, then you got rich.
I don't know how to describe it, man. I think we didn't grow up with no money to do nothing, but we did what we could. I guess that's a testament to my mother, because I don't feel like we was poor. I feel like we had a poor upbringing compared to a lot of other people. But, I ain't the type of person that's gonna tell you like, oh, it was so hard. It was hard, but that's, that make you have the best finesse in the world. So I'm more so appreciative of it than anything. But it was them pissy hallways and crackheads in the hall and shootouts. And I remember walking to school, moments after it was just a shootout across the street where people died and it was still bullet holes in the school. So you see people get the life beat out of them outside. You see drive-by shootings, you lose friends, you see old heads, then you don't see them the next day. You see them get their name spray painted on the wall. My hood was one of them hoods where it was really going down. But at the end of the day, you gotta mind your business, and if you mind your business, you be all right. That was kind of my upbringing. Mind your business.
That description you painted sounds like poverty to me.
Well, some people won't call it poverty. It depends, you know. But I know we was eating at least something every night, even if it was chicken nuggets and fries for the whole year. We was eating, so.
Now, you mentioned your mother would upgrade here, upgrade there. Do you think, if you can recall, do you think that you ended up moving up from poverty to, let's say, lower middle class at some point in your life, or no?
From poverty to lower middle class to probably middle class, you know, like, yeah, we definitely got up to the middle at some point.
How'd you guys do it?
I don't know, you know, how you get up to middle class in America? Working a job, you know what I'm saying? So I know she worked her jobs that she worked, and yeah, paid her bills. I was never all in my mother's business like that, you know. I wanted to just do what I wanted to do, and make a way for myself. But I know for me personally, it was hard because going to school, I remember going to school and where I'm getting my fits from, I was getting my fits from Marshalls and stuff like that. And you don't realize until, you know, you get out, because I think in my neighborhood, you see how everybody's kind of on the same level, but as we trying to move up to better places and different places, we might move somewhere and you realize like, damn, all these kids' parents is really getting money to the point where it's like it's something. And we always could finesse, you know, cool stuff. But I think once we moved a little farther from the city, like to like in high school, I remember towards the end of my high school career, I went to this school called McNamara, and I went to this school called Laurel. And we moved out Laurel. And when I moved out there, I ain't really know nobody, I ain't really rock with nobody that much because I'm new and I ain't used to nothing that was going on out there. So I had to catch up, get acclimated. They was fresher than me. They was, you know, worried about different things than I was. So yeah, it's an adjustment. But.
Now, you mentioned in this segment so far, your mother more than your father.
Yeah, I love them both though.
Good terms with both?
Yeah, great terms with both.
They separated at some point in your life?
I think they were separated for my whole life.
But but was your dad, because it sounds like you were living with your mom.
Yeah, I lived with my mom for my whole life. I lived with my dad probably, once he came home, I think I tried to live with him for probably like a year or 6 months or like something like that. Or I was living with him on and off once he came home. But prior to that, it was just phone conversations with him. We'd go visit him. I know he was in like North Carolina, South Carolina, different stuff like that. So we'd go visit him in the feds. He always give me good advice and stuff. But yeah, that's my dog. You know, he running the streets right now.
How much time did he have to do in federal prison?
I think like 15 years, something close. Probably all together like 20 or something. But yeah, he did some time.
Do you know what it was for?
Man, I think it's like kidnapping, robbery, all type of stuff. I actually was around the neighborhood. I seen him running from the police that day. He didn't know I seen him, but he was running through the neighborhood. He came through in a UUV, stole a vehicle, and hopped out, ran. I don't know what he did after that. I just know I seen him, and then he went in from there, and life changed a little bit.
Now, when you were born, he was already locked up?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, he wasn't locked up. He was out. He was going to jail on weekends, I think, when my mother first met him, but she ain't know. She said if she knew that, she'd have never talked to him, but, you know, he a finesser like me, so he finessed her.
How old was it when he actually goes to federal prison then, if you can recall?
I know I just stopped getting as much stuff because I think having that two-parent,
household.
Yeah, and it's not even household because he wasn't in our house, but just having that 2-parent system. If one taking care of you every day, feeding you, putting that, you know what I'm saying, making sure you getting love, making sure you go to school, make sure you do your homework, all that, then the other parent, they only obligation is to, all right, make sure you got the newest stuff, or make sure you at least got stuff, clothes. It ain't even gotta be the newest, but that teamwork and then mixed with, you know, the culture where we from. My father, he was a hustler, so he gonna want me to have the J's, the Averex coats, everything. As a youngin', they used to give me very fly. My father did, so I definitely appreciated that. You know, he always had shoes, so I was big on shoes. I still am, but that's my dog. He just had to do what he had to do.
Did you have physical visitation with him?
Yeah, I used to go see him, like, hey, what's up to him, hug him, stuff like that. I still remember he used to have a green jumpsuit on with plaits. I could still remember him. He used to smell like garlic, too. I don't know if I think I did tell him that. I don't know what kind of hookups he used to be in there making, but yeah, that was my dog.
And you would communicate with him?
My dog.
You would communicate with him through phone calls?
Yeah.
Letters?
Yeah, he'd write me. I'm not big on communication. I got terrible communication skills, even to this day, but yeah, off the phone all the time. Like,
did you have email back then or no?
By the time we got a computer, I don't think I was even worried about what my father was doing. I think I was trying to be a rapper, trying to figure out how to download some type of software that could record or something. So.
How young did music start for you?
I wanted to do music like my whole life. I think since I was like, probably like.
What age or what grade maybe?
Maybe like 8, 9. Since I was old enough to talk, put words together, like understand stuff, then I think it started with me. I tried to get out of trouble. I used to always do something wild in school. I don't even know why. I tried to get out of trouble. My mother was coming home. I knew I was gonna get a beating, so I wrote her a poem while I was in the shower. When I hopped out the shower, read it to her. She liked it. I got like a good response from her. So from there, I always been good with words like spelling bees and all that type of stuff. I was into that. So it just grew. And my grandmother always had me around music. She was playing records and all that, from Batman to Anita Baker to whatever. So she playing stuff. We playing go-go. We beating on drums and stuff. So music always been a part of my life, I think, as far as I can remember.
And I want to explore that a little bit later in this interview. But in regards to your father, while he was locked up, in 15, 20 years, that's a long time. But did you have any anger or resentment towards him during this stint, this long bid?
I think I used to use it as an excuse sometimes, like if I needed to. But for real, I don't know if I really cared. Like growing up without your father right there, it do affect you because sometimes maybe I wouldn't have made certain decisions, or maybe I would have, because I know what I want to do and I do it a lot of times. So I don't know. I really think people choose their path that they want to go on their life, and their life is theirs. You could take it and make it like about you. Like he left me. He left a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? He probably owed some people some money. They like, damn, I can't never get it back. So I don't know. I feel like God ain't gonna put me in no situation I can't handle or I can't figure out. So
was there another male figure in your life while he was locked up?
Hey, eventually I had a stepfather. He cool. He's still cool to this day. Other than that, my Uncle Demp, he died though at a real young age, but I remember playing football with him and all that type of stuff, throwback tackle, all that. But yeah, for the most part, my cousin. Oh yeah, I got a lot of cousins too. All my cousins. And yeah, so I had cousins, uncles, you know, neighborhood figures that took me under their wing and stuff, all type.
This was a uncle that you mentioned that passed away on your dad's side or your mom's side?
On my mom's side.
How did he pass away?
I don't know. It was a long time ago. I think he had AIDS though.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had AIDS. I know when we went to go see him by that time, he was eating through a straw and all that type of stuff. So it was real rough, man.
Mm. Now, your dad comes home first time.
Yeah.
Were you there for that moment?
Yeah, I was. I don't remember exactly when. Oh yeah, they surprised me. Him and my mother. I went to go meet them somewhere, and it was both of them. So I was happy as a mug. And I think we took pictures that day. By this time, I think I was driving so I was probably like 15 and 10 months, so 16 when my father came home. I forget it was that long that nigga was gone. We was really out here. But yeah, he came home. I was driving, and I probably dropped him off wherever he was going after that though. Yeah.
So did you actually meet him that first day he was back, that he touched down, or it was just another point after he had already touched down that he surprised you?
Oh nah, he gonna come see me the first day. Like I'm his only child too, so
okay.
he ain't as soon as he come home, he probably wanted to see whoever he wanted to see and me. So I give him that.
Was it awkward at all?
Nah, that's my dog. Like it ain't awkward because he cool. He like a street nigga. He like a young soul, you know?
Was it emotional? Did either of you shed a tear at all?
Probably did cry. I probably cried. He probably cried. Or we probably was just happy. Probably was just happy because if you ain't seen somebody in so long, I don't know. It wasn't more so emotional, but it was good to know he was home. Like, it felt good just to see him and, be able to know, oh, you ain't got to leave, you know? So, and I think when he first came home, he had to go to the halfway house. So that was, not having him right there to be able to do whatever, that junk was in the way, too. But once he got out, got on his feet, got to moving around and stuff, yeah, it was lit.
So maybe more so tears of joy.
If anything, yeah.
Now, he gets home, he's done with the halfway house.
Yeah.
Does he treat you like a parent at that point, or does he treat you more like a friend at that point? What's the relationship like after he's home now?
Yeah, I gotta say he treat me like a parent, cause I got a lot of respect for my father, just cause he brought me into the world. So I wouldn't even try to play with him in no type of way. I wouldn't want nobody in the street playing with him. But as far as he like my homie, but I respect him as a father, and whatever he gotta say to me, I'ma listen, and I'ma try to listen, and just try to be the best son I could be. But yeah, he not overbearing. He don't tell me what to do. He proud of me. He give me advice. He like to see me shine, for real.
Now, speaking of advice, do you have any advice for somebody watching this? And of course, circumstances could be different for everybody. But do you have any advice for somebody watching and their parent is doing a long bid? Anything you would tell somebody kind of in your shoes watching this interview?
Man, it's probably hard to do a bid. It's probably harder to do the bid than it is for you out here. So I say don't be no extra stress on them. Try to understand people got their own life. They gonna make their own decisions, own mistakes. And when people gotta pay for it, you gotta let God judge them, and they already gonna get judged by the judge. So I feel like you just gotta make it kind of easier. But you gotta also express yourself. Let them know how you feel. Let them know what they missed out on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important too. I think you just gotta communicate. Don't let that break your communication, them being in jail. Just don't say nothing over them phones to incriminate yourself or them. But other than that, communicate.
Now,
and find an outlet too. You gotta find an outlet. Music, that's an easy outlet for me. So I get all my feelings out. But the average person who ain't got no outlet, hey, find an outlet, do something.
Now, back then growing up for you, how big was gang activity in DC?
Not at all. It's a whole lot of hood activity. Everywhere you go, it's a hood. Like you asked me earlier, within those sections, it's sections within sections within sections. Some hoods got the up top and down bottom, and they don't get along. Some hoods all together. It's probably a 5,000 hoods in that area. So, and everybody rapping, and everybody got they riding for whatever they ride for. So, it's a lot of hood activity, not so much gangs.
I see. And you repped a hood. You rode for a hood.
Yeah, my hood 10th place. You can't help where you born at. So, yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, 10th place. You actually mentioned I think that's part of your social media handle on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know if you use that on other social media handles, but it's definitely in your Instagram handle.
Yeah, it's in all my handles, Lightshow 10th place. So I had that since the beginning of the internet activity. So yeah, I done kept that with me for the long run, just to remind myself where I came from.
Now, growing up in poverty, were you able to get a job and make money that way?
I did get a job eventually, but by the time I got a job, I think I was like, I worked for a little while at Finish Line because I was trying to get shoes, you know. I had to buy my own shoes. My mother couldn't buy them. And I couldn't wait to get no job so I could figure something out. So I was on shoes heavy. I did that on the first day. I think I was 14. Like, as soon as I turned 14, I was at the store. Hey, I could work here, right? Did that. And other than that, I had a job on my half-day schedule at school. I used to leave there, go straight to the city, get that good Library of Congress check. I ain't had to do nothing. I worked in the space planning unit. Just go around counting how much space in the building. So I used to eat good lunch in that junk, good government lunch. You know, steal some extra muffins and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just push it to the limit up there. I was really getting my tax dollars worth up there.
So just those two jobs for you growing up?
Yeah.
Any of those jobs tough?
Nah, not at all.
Any crazy stories with those jobs? Anything that happened out of the norm?
Man, everything was out of the norm. It was every day catching public transportation to that school. I mean, back and forth from school to the city for that job. You see all wild type of stuff.
But in the actual job, though?
In a job, I think more so the people that you work with. That's probably the most interesting thing. I don't know if too many wild things happened while I was on the job. One of them was a government job, so it's not much you're gonna get at the Library of Congress, you know what I'm saying? You just get to explore. I used to go in all them rooms though, just look around. Like, them days felt long, real long. And mind you, I'm getting out of school and going straight there at 10, so I'm there to the rest of the day like 3. I remember I used to clock in, leave, go back to work, clock out, leave again. Just collect, you know what I'm saying? It was a sweet job to get out of school early.
Quit these jobs, get fired from them? What ended up happening?
Nah, for the school job, it just end the program and it's over. And once you gonna graduate, then they could either offer you a job or not. I wasn't interested in none of that. I just was trying to rap by that point. So.
What about Finish Line?
No, that Finish Line, I think that's a good question. I think I just got tired of working at Finish Line, man. Like, the hours and stuff they want you there on Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. You can't call out, you can't do nothing, or they upset. So I don't know I think I just left Finish Line.
Did you ever have to resort to street activity?
Street activity? Hell yeah. I think a lot of people growing up where I'm from, they had to resort to street activity. So that's kind of like all you see. Then, well, this may just be an excuse, but without my father, I'm thinking, shoot, I got to figure out some way to go outside, be a man, figure it out. So that's what I did. I was outside head first trying to make sure that nobody ain't gonna play with me and make sure I could get what I needed to kind of like keep up with the people that I was around. So I definitely resorted to street activity.
How young? Did that start before the 14-year-old job situation?
I think that's at around the same time it get to the point where you realize that the money you making is not any money. And then I feel like you just get lazy. Like, you know what, I don't work. I know I don't want to work. I rather smoke weed with my friends, run around, do stuff. I can't do that if I gotta go to work. So at that point, you just start finessing, going to go do little robberies and stuff like that. That's what I started out with, robbing people, all type of wild stuff. And then, you know, you get your people's questioning you, how you still get money, you ain't got no job, what you doing? They all on your back, putting that negative energy in the air. And then once they catch on to you, it's just downhill from there. So I started with the robberies, and I think it went straight to hell from there.
Was it a friend or family member that put you onto that sort of stuff?
It was my man, one of my brother. Like, he put me on. We was fucked up though, so he like, hey, we gotta do something, and I'm down for the cause. So we got out here head first and just started taking stuff, like all type, man, building up all type of bad karma. So if you listen to this, don't do that. Like, man, one thing about that taking, it puts you in some bad karma situations, man, that you don't really have to be in. But yeah, I feel like I've been paying for that shit forever.
If you were robbing others, does that mean you were robbed at one point yourself? Or was it karma through different other means?
Yeah, it wasn't like that. Like, now I've been in robberies and stuff.
But you never broke into a car and then, hey, my car's broken into now.
Nah, it wasn't like that. My karma, like, I'm trying to think, have I ever been in a direct situation that I put somebody else in? Yeah, I have. But my karma I'm talking about, it's more so the slow karma where, like, you get everything the way you want it, the way you thought you planned it to go just the way you wanted it to go, and then in the blink of an eye, something happened, and you could think back like, damn, what'd I do that would cause this? And some of us could think back and think about 10, 20 things, and once you there, it's just no telling.
When it came to robbing, you're talking about like actual people, or you're talking about like just robbing things?
See, we was robbing people. We were running down in lit areas, patting pockets, going in wallets, taking phones, throwing them in the sewer. Like, that was our number one thing. I remember one time I was outside. We in this one part of the city called Adams Morgan. We doing some wild stuff. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and redact that. We was somewhere, and we was doing some wild stuff. And man, I remember I pulled my gun out on this white man, and he looked at me like, you're a child, you're not gonna rob me. And he just walked off. And me and my man, we laughed about that junk so much, so hard. That was probably the boldest man I ever met in life, man. I'm telling you. He was ahead of his time.
Very dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Because anything
We
can
wasn't
happen.
trying to hurt nobody though. We was just trying to get that bag. My man, he was more so willing to do whatever. I just wanted to get that bag.
Now, just curious, when it came to robbing people, and there's somebody watching like this interview and saying, how do I not become a victim of a robber? How do you decide who becomes a victim?
You don't walk down random streets. You watch your back and see if somebody following you, because if you feel like somebody following you, 9 times out of 10 they following you. If somebody trying to rob you, and you like at a disadvantage, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna happen. So you might as well just let it be what it's gonna be, get it over with, and get home to your family, depending on whatever intentions they got or however you feeling that day. But I would say, just if you get caught down bad, just go ahead and let it go. You know what I'm saying? Try again another day, but you gotta be very vigilant. You know, you don't want to get your stuff, your car broken into, take your bags in your wherever you going. Like you gotta be robbery proof out here, man.
And does it depend what age a person is, or if they're male or female? Or?
Well, I feel like for the slime balls, they gonna rob you no matter if you male, female, child, whatever. Some people robbing with morals and stuff. I like to think I had a bit of morals in my robberies and stuff. I try to, you know, when it was a random stuff, I try to, you know, pick wisely, you know, not just anybody, but I got homies where they like whoever game, they don't care. They just try and get it. They take it from you, from whoever they self. They just takers.
Was it ever a person's a height or weight?
Nah, because the gun make everybody the same size. So.
But if you saw a bodybuilder walking in this dark street,
probably be more fun. If you see a bodybuilder, you probably, oh yeah. Nah, when you robbing people, everybody could get it. It's not no. And in DC for a long time, guns was illegal to have. So nobody had no gun. It's not like the regular South where everybody got guns. You can't just, nobody had no guns. Not the type of people that people picking and choosing. Or, yeah, they take you to the ATM, make you put your code in, all type of stuff. Be real discreet with it. It was all type of robberies going on.
Ever worried about maybe meeting somebody one day that you didn't know that had a gun too?
Nah, I think when it come down to that, that's where you pick and choose about who you, whatever. Like if you look, you're not gonna rob somebody that look like you. For one, they probably don't have nothing, and for two, they probably outside doing the same thing you trying to do. So if y'all ain't about to team up, work together, which y'all not, you just see each other and keep it moving. Unless you just want a problem with somebody, and then that happens too.
So were you also targeting somebody that looked like they had money? Like maybe they had a designer item on them, or maybe were wearing something designer?
It was a little more savage than that, like, cause we not trying to take your clothes or whatever. We just want whatever you had on you loose. We don't care if you was going to the bar to get a couple drinks, like just your loose change. We need that. And hopefully you got all hundreds in your pocket. You just came from the ATM, or we was trying to take you to the ATM and put the code in and type stuff. So, yeah.
No, when I guess I don't mean, I wouldn't think you would rob somebody for their clothes, but I'm saying if somebody's wearing like a designer shirt, that might signal like they have money.
Nah, cause I think we out in the cold, in the heat, whatever. So if you got on, really it's anybody that don't look like they come from where we come from in that particular moment, they gang. You know, it was a very random thing. Like it was nobody that could be saved unless you just looked like you didn't have anything like us. So,
and what if, and then when it came to like the ATM thing, what if somebody didn't want to take it that far, or forgot their code, or card wasn't working, or something of that nature?
You just leave it alone. Like you know, they try and make most wanted list. You just, I think for real, and plus if we was kids, so like. A lot of them things just scare tactics. If you stand up for yourself, you might be good. You might get punched in the face or something, but you'll be good. You say no, stand your ground. Like people wasn't trying to really get locked up for nothing like that. So, you know, I think for kids, it's just scare tactics, you know.
Sometimes it could be, but these days, you never know who's doing the robbing. Somebody could be under the influence of a drug.
Oh, yeah. You got to be able to, now, kids, first, now, it's kids under the influence, too. So you could tell a zombie, and then you could see a demon or somebody from a mile away. So if you got your eyes open, you can tell real quick. But I feel like, yeah, it's different levels to it, you know? It just depends on where you at. What's the odds of it?
Or if somebody's actually doing the robbing, you know, they could have a certain attitude or something. And if somebody stands up and says no, like you just said,
Yeah.
that could pose.
Well, they probably got bigger problems than, you know what I'm saying, need your money then. So, you know, you got some people that's just trying to terrorize the world. So if you run into one of them people, ain't no reasoning with them anyway, you know, maybe so. I don't know. I had different motives. I know the people I was around, they was just trying to get some money. It wasn't about hurting nobody or whatever, unless, you know, they playing a knockout game, and even that, just jumping out, hitting people. And, you know, I think it was just stuff growing up that the kids did, that people was trying to prove their toughness or whatever the case may be. But some people took it that far, but if you gonna take it that far, you might as well rob an armor truck and go for the gusto. And I feel like it's more people that was trying to do that where I'm from than, you know, just hurt somebody for no reason.
And the reason why, again, I ask these questions is somebody watching this that might be able to learn something, protect themselves.
Yeah, you really can't. You just gotta be lucky. I don't know if you can protect yourself from a robbery. Well, you can. You gotta be lucky, and you gotta be smart. You gotta have finesse. You know, you gotta keep your eyes open. They rob you every day. They might rob you at the curry out and don't give you an extra change back. You know, rob you of your gas. Like, you getting robbed out here, so you just don't want it to be by gunpoint, or you don't want it to be by knife point, nothing violent, but you gonna get robbed anyway, somehow, eventually, so.
But if you saw somebody that was looking vigilant, that looked at their surroundings or looked like you might not rob that person then? Or could still anybody get it type of thing?
I think anybody, if you vigilant, if you, whatever, if somebody wants something you got, they gonna try their hand, so you gotta be prepared for it. I think if you live in places where you can have guns, have a gun. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sometimes fight fire with fire. You don't wanna just be running unless you fast. Then hey, make a game out of it, run, tempo run. Other than that though, I don't think you could really, you just gotta be, you know, blessed, be prayed up, be out the way, and know your surroundings. You gotta know like where people look odd, where people not supposed to be, what's closed. If you like a deer in headlights, something gonna happen to you, or you just gonna scare yourself to death, and that's just as bad as being robbed. You know what I'm saying? To scare yourself, it ain't nothing even to be worried about. So don't walk around fearful. Just, you know, play your best hand that you could play. Put your best hand together and play it. Whether that's getting you a curry license, whether that's, you know, keeping you a pocket knife, whatever you have. If some people want to have 911 on speed dial, if that's how you living, hey, I ain't here to judge you. Do your thing.
Now, looking back, dealing with the streets can be a very risky path.
Hell yeah. I got shot. I've been in jail. I got too risky.
And you've been shot once?
Yeah.
Where?
In my leg. It went through the back right here, came on my kneecap.
Could you have died from that or been?
Hell yeah, I was bleeding. The whole floor, I soaked the whole living room floor of my house with blood while I was waiting for the ambulance to come. So that was a humbling experience, you know.
Could it have been a point where maybe a leg was amputated?
Hell yeah, if they couldn't stop the bleeding, then that was what was gonna be the next step. So it took like 3-4 days for them to stop it, but they got to stop, you know, just in time.
And you've been to jail before?
Yeah, I've been locked up.
Juvenile or as an adult?
Nah, I've been as an adult. I think I started going to jail like 18, or 17, or something, messing with them cars I was driving. So getting pulled over and having different things in the car, that's how it started for me. It wasn't really like no world's dumbest criminals type stories. I got caught up where I got caught up certain times, but for the most part, it was getting caught with stuff on you and stuff. And,
charges that you were able to beat or no?
Yeah, thank God. Undefeated.
So never had to do prison time?
Nah, never. Got out of there last minute every time, thank God. Thank the good public defenders, thank the paid defenders. You know, sometimes you gotta get a public defender to beat the case. Sometimes you gotta get a private. It just depends on what's the risk-reward factor, you know. If you feel like saving you some time and money or not. But yeah, thank God for the people I had. They really looked out.
Now, did you know stuff like this could happen from the jump when you entered into street activity, or no?
Oh, yeah, but you think you smarter than that. You think you gonna outsmart the police, outrun the police, outthink every situation. That's what you think. That's why you do it. You know, I don't think people go out here thinking, I'm about to get caught. Nah, you think you getting ready to be John Wayne, like really all types of doing whatever you want, but that ain't how it end up. Reality hit you. And if you don't have no money to fight them cases, you're gonna probably lose. So
Was there ever an exit strategy for you with the street activity?
music. That was always the exit strategy. I feel like music was I always wanted to do it. So that always been my dream, my goal. But I'm a hustler, so I always want to figure out a way to monetize stuff, make money out of something, whatever is my thoughts or what I'm capable of doing. I want to figure out how to make money off of it. I got an idea, bet who can I sell it to? Or I used to sell my mother liquor, so I was trying to get money and really be relaxed, doing what I want to do, work for myself, and that's what I do now.
You used to sell your mother liquor?
Yeah, my mother's liquor. I didn't sell my mother liquor. She had liquor in the house, and I sell it to my friends, you know what I'm saying, about like the little cups and shots, you know.
Oh.
So they try and get drunk. I wasn't no drinker, so I just sell it to them.
Oh, she didn't know this was going
Oh
on.
yeah, by the time, you know, the bottle got halfway down, she like, hey, what you drinking my liquor? I was like, nah, but I did sell it. She like, don't sell my stuff to underage kids no more, but I'm proud of you.
Back then, what could you get for something like that?
No, you get like $5, $10, you know what I'm saying? Now the price is high, like bootleg, John. For a shot, I'm gonna need $5, $10. I might get my ass whooped. You got $20 sometimes. You gotta come up off that bread for shit like that. I'm stealing, you know what I'm saying? And giving it to underage kids. So, you know, she hit me with the, I could go to jail for this, all that.
Now, when it came to the street activity that you got into, was there any regrets? Hindsight 2020.
Yeah, because I feel like now that I know better, I don't believe in taking stuff from people that work hard for their stuff or however they get it. I don't believe in it at all. Like, wouldn't want nobody taken from me or nobody that I know. I feel like when you're young, you don't put it into perspective like that, or when you blind, you don't put it into perspective like that. But for me, I had to think about it from a different angle and put myself in them people's shoes, and I felt like it brought me back all type of bad karma. So that's my only regret, you know. And being in the streets too much, not focused on my family, cause you know you meet a lot of people out here, and you think these people gonna be solid, or you think everybody real, then you realize they not, and they be, man, the lengths that they go to make sure they straight is a lot. So you realize like, damn, I've been sowing seeds into people that ain't been worth it. Like that's been snakes or rats or whatever. So now I feel like I can't tell what no man do. Like I don't like, I want to know if possible, but if you can't prove it or whatever, I don't even care. Like people gonna do what they do. I ain't the judge and the jury. I be tired of hearing about people like, man, I'm focused on myself. I can't vouch for nobody. I can't defend nobody honor. People are who they are. They do what they do. So, yeah, but I regret not spending more time with my family, because now I'm family oriented. I take care of them first. As long as they straight, everything else can go how I go.
Was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward, or what you got out of it?
Yeah, I got experience out of it, you know, and I love my experience. Like, it was great for me. I don't think it was great. I could have got it many other way, but I don't regret none. I feel like it made me who I am. It helped me write my story. But I don't believe in running into the brick wall over and over again, like not making the same mistakes people made before you. It's just about evolving. Like, we on earth for such a short time that if you gonna make the same mistakes that somebody else making over and over, you ain't even gonna be able to help advance the human race. So I don't want to be a fool out here while I'm on the earth. So I'm trying to figure it out, do something better.
Now, your father, who did 15, 20 years of prison time,
Yeah.
did he know all this stuff that was going on? And if so, what did he think when he found out?
I don't know. I don't think I talked to my father about stuff like that. Now, we cool. We know everything, But then I don't think I ever talked to my father about nothing I was doing or whatever. Cause
Or maybe he heard about it some kind of way through a mom or other family members.
Maybe. But my mom, she probably heard about it and like talked to me, and kept it G with me. But I don't know. Like my father more so if I had issues like with girls, sneaking girls in the house. Oh no, I did get put out for when my mother found my weed and I had to go live with my father. So then he knew about stuff like that then. But so I guess he knew about my criminal activities for my whole life, but I don't think he could do nothing about it.
Because I'm curious to understand, because you see the dynamic there. He's done some criminal activities, so he gets locked up for a long time.
Yeah.
And then now his son, his only child,
Yeah.
is in street activity as well. And he's coming home.
I don't think, I put it like this. My father wouldn't want me to be doing stuff like that, but my father not the one to tell you. He gonna tell you probably get it how you live. I never really went to him for that type of advice, so I had to ask him, hey, what would you, yeah. Because I don't know what my father do. Like I said, I can't vouch for nobody. I don't know what he do. All I know is what I did in my circumstances and my situations or what I would do, but I don't really know.
And it's not even advice. It's just if he sees his son doing a route that he took himself, just how interesting that dynamic is, you can see from the outside looking in.
Yeah. But if you win it, I wonder if you can see it like that. Or maybe you can. But I got to ask him, though. I see the dynamic of it. I did what I wanted to do, though, not because of my father. He is who he is. But I probably use that as extra motivation to say, hey, if I get caught, I can blame it on this. You know what I'm saying? If I could, in my head. But I think it is what it is. He is who he is. I made my own decisions, though.
You were in school while you were involved in street activity.
Yeah, I used to do it every weekend.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Both feet out.
Did you ever, because I know doing these types of interviews, some kids don't finish high school. They don't get their high school diploma.
That was a must. I love school, Not loved it, but I appreciated going where I had to go to school, at least to graduate. So I graduated. You could not graduate in my house.
So would you say that was self-motivated or mom?
Mom motivated. Like, I think that was instilled in me from the jump. It was never no thought in my head where I was not going to graduate. Never.
Because as you can imagine, me doing these types of interviews with people that grew up in a similar circumstance as yourself, especially 1 foot in, like you said, 2 feet in, but 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Sometimes kids growing up, they get so consumed by street activity, they make a certain type of living off of street activity, maybe more than other students they're going to school with, maybe even the teacher that's teaching them. Man. They see no value in continuing.
Nah, I wasn't making that. I wasn't making that much money. I was making petty change, like to eat, to get some shoes, to get my essentials, because I ain't have nothing. Like I couldn't ask my mother to give me this or that. And if I just was not feeling like working a job at that time. I think I just wanted to work for myself. It was my entrepreneurial skills trying to shine at a young age, and I just did it in the wrong manners. But, as I got older, I tried to turn that same courage and hustle and determination into something, because it come from somewhere. It's still courage, it's still hustle, it's determination, but it's just misguided. And I feel like once I had a little more guidance, I could put it in the right perspective. Because listening to my mother, that wasn't going to do it. My mother telling me, oh, do this or do that, that wasn't going to make my decision. Maybe if I'd have had both parents telling me, oh, go this way, that way, I could understand both sides of the coin. But I really jumped out here myself to see both sides of the coin, And I don't think it had much to do with my home life more so than it did just me wanting to do what I want to do. Because my home life, like as a child, that's your parents' life. And whatever my parents had, which was little or nothing, that's theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, everybody spread this out. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you eat. Make sure you got somewhere to live. Other than that, you gotta figure it out, you know. So that's how it was for me.
Did you ever have to chip in with the bills?
Yeah, heck yeah. As soon as you get a job, got kicked off the cell phone bill. Now I gotta pay my own cell phone bill. Or you had to help pay the insurance bill once you drive in the car, you know what I'm saying? Because you like, dang, I can get me a car, but you gotta pay for the insurance. And I got my car from the auction, so I definitely wasn't thinking about paying no insurance or no car note, no nothing. I'm thinking you get it, you drive off. So little stuff like that you start with, but it's good because it let you get prepared for the real world and responsibilities because you're gonna have to pay something out here wherever you go.
Growing up in poverty, what did you learn from it, overall speaking?
I think I learned how to be crafty, how to use what I had in my surroundings to make do. Like I remember putting antennas on the TV made out of aluminum foil, or when the knob fell off the TV, using the pliers to change the jump. That's when I'm at my grandmother's house. My house wasn't like that. It was a little more modern from my grandmother's house, but just that struggle, you know. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother growing up, you know what I'm saying? From the black feet, from the carpet when you get in the tub, your feet be black as a mug, you know what I'm saying? Like, just all stuff that you ain't realize, you know, the mice, and, you know, if you living in project housing, you ain't gonna be able to escape no mice no matter what. So, like, all type of stuff. It just teach you how to be crafty. It teach you how to be courageous. It teach you how to face your fears and sometimes it teach you bad habits. But it's a lot to learn in poverty.